All right, we'll have Coach open her up with a comment. So, Coach, go ahead.
We're having a real good weekend. We're getting to know the players. The players are getting to know us as individuals, us in terms of some of the things that we hold near and dear, some cultural things. And so from that standpoint, man, we're really excited. We got a limited number of guys, so we're cautious about the amount of work that we put them through or the type of work that we put them through. But all in all, it's been highly productive. You know, our goals are to get an assessment of conditioning and for them to have an opportunity to display their conditioning, to do some teaching and learning, to understand how they take in information individually and collectively, to deliver information to them, to utilize all our teach tools in an effort to get to know them from a teaching and learning perspective, to talk about some of the details associated with play at this level, whether it's rule changes relative to the college game or required detail relative to their positions to have success, hand usage, et cetera. We've done a real good job with that. And lastly, to foster some togetherness, to acknowledge that this is the ultimate team game and to expose them to some of the things that we hold near and dear in terms of team development or team cohesion development. And so it's been a good weekend. I like the energy and attention to detail of the guys. I'm sure bigger challenges lie ahead, but we're excited to be starting. Questions?
Joe Rudder.
Yeah, Mike, just what was your initial thoughts of how Najee Harris looked and, the way he reported and what you thought of him initially?
I think he is as highly conditioned as anybody out there, and that's a great place to begin. I think he's got a nice foundation from that perspective. He's a sharp guy. He's a football guy. You can tell he's passionate about football. He can articulate the game very well. So it's a lot to be excited about.
Dale Lawley.
Mike, you mentioned getting to see these guys for the first time this weekend. What is your expectation on when you'll get to see them again after this?
By rule, man, we'll be able to continue with these guys tomorrow on Monday. And so that's our level of expectation, and we look forward to it.
Noah Strackbean.
Hey, Coach. What did you see that you liked or didn't like from some of the undrafted guys that were here this weekend? And did anyone make a strong first impression?
I hadn't spent a lot of time focused on things I don't like. Like I outlined at the very beginning, we're just trying to get an assessment of conditioning, get an assessment of how they learn and how to teach them, to talk about some details relative to their positions and to work on teamwork. So, it's more about those things than to assess the things that you like or don't like. It's just much too early for that.
Brooke Pryor.
Yeah, Mike, you talked about fostering togetherness. How much better do you know this rookie class at this point this year than you did a year ago when everything was still virtual and you were having to get to know guys through Zoom?
It's still very similar, to be honest with you. Last year had the benefits of the combine and the interviews associated with the combine prior to being shut down. This year we had the pro days, but no combine. There's challenges in this environment. I'm comfortable with the get to know at this point. But I could say the same about where I was relative to circumstance a year ago.
Brian Batko. Not coming through. Go ahead with Tim Benz.
Mike, I was wondering, so far with Harris and Freiermuth, if you're getting a sense of how they might weave in with what Matt Canada is thinking big picture with your offense and sort of what the ripple effect is then for your four good wide receivers that you have.
I don't know that we're there yet. Like I mentioned, we're just getting to know them and doing some introductory things. I think as the days and weeks continue to unfold and we get a sense of how they learn and an up close perspective on their talents, those will be more significant questions. And I think the blending of the rookies with the veteran guys are a big component of that. When they're just working with the rookies, that's somewhat of a waste of time. I think really we're just looking at them in terms of what they're doing relative to this group, the people we have in front of us right now.
Mark Caboli.
Hey, Mike, you did a lot in the offseason to address the running game personnel and coaching staff. In your mind, have you done enough? And what point do you know if you've done enough to address it?
we're just beginning to work. We're just beginning the team development process. We're just beginning the opportunity to have an opportunity to work with the men day to day on skills relative to that aspect of play. So we're far from a finished product or even assessing needed improvements in that area.
Brian Batko.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Great. Yes.
All right. I was going to ask Mike, when you say Najee can articulate the game well for a young guy, what are some examples of that? And can you notice that more in a rookie camp like this where there are fewer guys out there?
Absolutely. It's more noticeable just simply because there's not a lot of people to work with. He's getting an opportunity to work one-on-one with Coach Faulkner at the running back position, and it provides plenty of opportunity for him to verbalize his knowledge and things of that nature. I think you teach a little bit differently when you don't have numbers. You talk as opposed to do in an effort to preserve. So he's had plenty of opportunities to display what I outlined.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.